This is Chapter 7 in your textbook on e-business and e-commerce. This is the first chapter that will be covered in your second test. E-business is a general term. It involves file sharing, video conferencing, discussion, emails, anything that would improve business value, such as quality initiatives, discussing legal matters, information systems, programming over the internet, anything that is involving digital mediation for a business. E-commerce is a specific class of e-business. E-commerce involves strictly transactions, buying and selling things online. In recent years, the brick-and-mortar strategy for large retailers has been threatened by e-business and e-commerce. The brick-and-mortar strategy has relatively higher overhead costs and has become a liability rather than an asset. It is believed that digital mediation can lower the cost of doing business by 20 to 40% or more. So you can see that an e-business, e-commerce strategy can have an advantage. On the other hand, the bricks and mortar strategy has a physical storefront with the physical brand, and it is positioned in the community physically. So there are pros and cons to both, and today we see a mixture of both. We will see a purely virtual organization such as Amazon, and you see a hybrid such as Walmart. Amazon is perhaps the most influential company in e-commerce. It has surpassed the $1 trillion market capitalization mark, and its founder, Jeff Bezos, was named by Forbes as the richest person in the world for 3 consecutive years, from 2018 to 2020. Other retailers have been so threatened by Amazon that they have begun shipping directly from their stores. The chapter opening case is about FlightCar. FlightCar was founded in early 2013 to take advantage of a new innovation at the time, iPhone apps. The company was based in San Francisco, California, and built through a startup accelerator in Cincinnati, Ohio. FlightCar addresses the airport parking challenge. If you've been to airports, you know that a lot of resources are spent on asphalt, parking garages, logistics, a lot of time spent walking back and forth between cars. There are lots of pitfalls, hot weather. There are professional thieves who stake out at these airport parking lots. So there are a lot of problems associated with our airport parking. FlightCar is a peer-to-peer car sharing business. As I said, it was designed to take advantage of smartphones at the time. FlightCar lets people parking in the airport rent their vehicles out to other approved traveling members. Every rental is insured up to $1 million, and every renter is pre-screened. Members get free parking, a car wash, and get paid if their car is rented out. The first section in Chapter 7 overviews e-business and e-commerce. It's important to understand basic definitions and concepts anytime when learning a new subject. And for example, in this section, it's important to distinguish between brick and mortar organizations and click and mortar organizations and virtual only organizations. So a brick and mortar organization is physical only. You can think examples of this, such as gas stations like Exxon, or a company that provides concrete. A virtual or pure play organization is the other extreme. In this case, the company is operating purely through digital means. eBay and Amazon are examples of virtual organizations. And in between these two is click and mortar organizations. Click and mortar is physical and digital. An example of this is Barnes & Noble bookstore on campus at MSU. It may be helpful for you to review Table 7.1, which lists and describes several e-commerce business models. There are 2 major e-commerce mechanisms. Both of them are auctions. One is the forward auction. A forward auction can be used by sellers to sell their items to many potential buyers. Sellers and buyers can be individuals or organizations. Items are commonly placed at a special site for auction, for example eBay. Buyers can continuously bid for the items they are interested in. Eventually, the highest bidder wins the item. With a forward auction, the price increases over time until the item is bought by the winner paying the highest price. By contrast, the reverse auction is a type of auction in which sellers bid for the prices they are willing to sell their goods and services. In a reverse auction, the buyer puts up a request for a required good or service. Sellers then place bids for the amount they are willing to be paid for the good or service, and at the end of the auction, the seller with the lowest amount wins. Your book describes several electronic payment mechanisms as well. Electronic checks are a form of digital payment that serves the same function as a physical check. When a merchant accepts an electronic check payment, the merchant receives the specified funds directly from a customer's checking account. Due to the fact that electronic checks are accepted over the internet rather than in person, they are subject to additional security features, including encryption, digital signatures, and authorization. Another electronic payment mechanism is the electronic card. Many of you may be familiar with a smart card, which is ideal for micropayments. A smart card is a general term for anything with intelligence embedded in the card. A stored value money card is self-explanatory. Many of you have experience with these if you buy gift cards. For example, a gift card for Walmart is an example of a stored value money card. A third type of electronic payment mechanism is a digital wallet. A digital wallet or e-wallet is a software-based system that securely stores users' payment information and passwords for numerous payment methods and websites. By using a digital wallet, users can complete purchases easily and quickly with near-field communications technology. They can also create stronger passwords without worrying about whether they will be able to remember them later. This section contains a case. It's about business overcoming the limitations of electronic commerce in the developing world. China implemented e-commerce to offer fresh, traditionally grown produce that was advertised via a microblogging website. In another example, to combat fears of online fraud and to educate Nigerians about shopping online securely, Jumia employs a direct sales team of people to travel around major cities carrying tablet computers. This section contains another case about Swipely, a competitor to Square. Swipely's competitive advantage over Square is price. Swipely becomes more effective if customers provide merchants with their name and email address, which 20% are willing to do. Section 7.2 describes the specific type of electronic commerce when organizations sell to individuals. We call this business to consumer or B2C electronic commerce. This section describes several ways in which this occurs. One is the electronic storefront. This is an electronic commerce solution for merchants who want to host a website that advertises their products or services and for which consumer transactions are generated online. Various software applications are available to merchants, which range from electronic shopping carts to secure payment gateways. Merchants that lack e-commerce technical skills find that storefront vendors are especially helpful when starting out or maintaining their online stores. When we collect several electronic storefronts together, we call this an electronic mall. An electronic mall represents a collection of individual shops under a single internet address. As we do with physical storefronts in the brick and mortar sense, we try to bring together a collection of diverse and uniquely different storefronts to assemble our electronic mall. Online service industries provide many examples of business-to-consumer electronic commerce. To understand what online service companies are doing, you should understand disintermediation. Disintermediation is the removal of steps in a supply chain, or cutting out the middleman in connection with a transaction or a series of transactions. For example, Nike.com sells shoes directly to consumers over the internet. and bypasses the brick and mortar organizations that typically retail their products. Because Nike is bypassing the traditional processes, they are disintermediating those employees and managers and organizations in those traditional links. Many online service industries were created for this purpose to take advantage of information technology. For example, cyber banking is an innovative and integrated electronic banking service that allows you to access related accounts via the internet. With cyber banking, you can check your accounts, manage your finances, and transfer funds anytime, anywhere. Another example of an online service industry is online securities trading. This is a model where you can enter your trades directly into your broker's system and let their computers buy and sell for you. This is a disintermediation of the traditional model of stockbrokers. In recent history, Robinhood was created to offer free online securities trading. It is an app that you can download, and I've had several students use this app. Another online service is the online job market. For example, Monster.com is a website that you may go to when you're trying to find a job after you graduate. Another example is usajobs.gov, which specializes in government jobs. Another example is ExecuNet, which focuses on executive jobs making $100,000 or more. Travel services is another online service industry that has shown disintermediation. Travel services involves transportation by carrier, accommodations, rental of motor vehicles, or any other service related to travel. Another example is online advertising. Online advertising includes email marketing, search engine marketing, social media marketing, many types of display advertising including web banner advertising and mobile advertising. Like other advertising media, online advertising frequently involves a publisher who integrates advertisements into its online content and an advertiser who provides the advertisements to be displayed on the publisher's content. Other potential participants include advertising agencies who help generate and place the ad copy, an ad server which technologically delivers the ad and tracks statistics, and advertising affiliates who do independent promotional work for the advertiser. In 2016, internet advertising revenues in the United States surpassed those of cable television and broadcast television. Many consumers find online advertising disruptive and have increasingly turned to ad blocking for a variety of reasons. When software is used to do the ad purchasing, it is known as programmatic advertising. Your book describes several advertising methods. One is the pop-up ad. This launches in front of your current browser window. Then there's the pop-under ad, which launches behind your current browser window. Spamming is another advertising method. This means we send the same message indiscriminately to large numbers of recipients on the internet. Permission marketing is another method. This is a non-traditional marketing technique that advertises goods and services when advance consent is given. Viral marketing involves sending information about your product to friends. So in this case, we're relying on people to forward the information to provide free advertising for our organization. E-tailing is not without issues. Multi-channeling means that we're using multiple channels to sell products, for example, simply the internet versus bricks and mortar. It means we have multiple sources of revenue, and that means we may need to advertise in multiple different types of ways. So multi-channeling means that our distribution system is more complex than it ever has been. And regarding multi-channeling, channel conflict is when manufacturers or brands disintermediate their channel partners, such as distributors, retailers, dealers, and sales representatives, by selling their products directly to consumers through general marketing methods over the internet. For example, Ford Motor Company can either use their dealership network or they can sell online. To the extent that they sell online and undermine their dealer network, that would be channel conflict. So a lot of these companies have to work this out. Showrooming is another issue in e-tailing. This is the practice of examining merchandise in a traditional brick and mortar retail store or other offline setting. and then buying it online, sometimes at a lower price. Online stores often offer lower prices than their brick and mortar counterparts because they do not have the same overhead cost. For example, Barnes & Noble gets hurt from showrooming. You can walk into a Barnes & Noble and look for the same products online as you see in their bricks and mortar operation. Your book provides the case of Simple in It's About Business. Can Simple disrupt traditional banking? Simple is an online-only bank with a heavy focus on customer service. Simple uses cloud-based apps that are easy to use to provide outstanding customer service. Simple makes money from interest margins. Section 7.3 deals with electronic commerce between organizations, also known as business-to-business or B2B electronic commerce. It comprises of sell-side and buy-side marketplaces as well as electronic exchanges. B2B e-commerce comprises about 85% of e-commerce volume. The sell-side marketplace is similar to the B2C model. Electronic tendering involves businesses requesting quotes from suppliers. If you go through sexual harassment training on your university's website to fulfill government regulation requirements, this is an example of B2E electronic commerce or business-to-employee electronic commerce. Buy-side marketplaces use reverse auctions and are suitable for procurement. The key mechanism of buy-side marketplaces is a reverse auction. The goal of group purchasing in the buy-side marketplace is to attract more seller attention. Electronic exchanges involve public exchanges that may be horizontal or vertical in nature. Horizontal exchanges connect buyers and sellers across many industries, while vertical exchanges connect buyers and sellers within a single industry. Your textbook is an example of a direct material that can be acquired through a public exchange. It's About Business. Penske Used Trucks is a case about re-engineering a web presence both externally and internally. Penske's Used Trucks website is primarily a B2B e-commerce website. Penske updated its website to look more like CarMax's website. Penske Used Trucks increased its search traffic by using more effective keywords. Section 7.4 is about ethical and legal issues in e-business. E-commerce makes it easy to track individuals on the internet. For example, cookies are used by companies to track individual use on the internet. We may accept cookies and have many of them on our computers that we don't know about. Fraudulent activities on the internet are increasing. Some examples are domain tasting. This is a form of cyber squatting. I'll explain that in just a second, which is illegal. Purchasing a domain name because you feel like one day it could be valuable to someone is illegal. For example, if someone is a star in the Olympics and no one had ever heard of this person, you can't go and buy a domain name having their name in it. People would be motivated to do such a thing to capitalize on their fame. Cyber squatting refers to the practice of registering or using domain names for the purpose of profiting from the goodwill or the trademark that belongs to someone else. In regard to paying taxes online, the basic law states that shoppers are supposed to track purchases and pay taxes on their annual tax filings. Regarding copyright, be aware that intellectual theft on the internet is common, such as when security policies are scraped, edited, and reused over and over again. The chapter closing case is about a company that you probably have heard of and you probably thought about during this discussion. Uber is a B2C business that's goal is to connect drivers and riders. Uber addresses a problem in the taxi business. Uber typically offers standard local rates and uses dynamic pricing during times of peak demand. This concludes our chapter on e-business and e-commerce. I hope you found it useful. Thank you.